Welcome to the Digital Peloton news for September 9th, 2022, your regular app here on the GPLama YouTube channel of what's news in the world of cycling technology. Coming up in today's video. This week, Zwift launched their own smart trainer. Yes, they're in the hardware game, something we all thought they weren't going to be doing. They've also made some visual changes in-game and online. Saris quietly announced the H4 smart trainer. Apple released the iPhone 14 with satellite communication capabilities. Does this mean we can upload our rides from anywhere, even without cell service? And finally, Hammerhead and Garmin continue to push regular updates to their GPS units, this week both releasing big swags of updates for their flagship models. As covered here on the GPLama YouTube channel and everywhere else across the media, Zwift are into hardware. Kind of. Well, technically they are, but with a little bit of help from their friends at Jet Black. So the Zwift Hub has been announced this week for a surprising price of US $4.99 with a cassette supplied. Now this has been quite the talk of the forums. A lot of people are impressed with the pricing, but we still haven't seen a unit with a final production firmware yet, so no hands-on reviews digging into all the details. But if it's based on the Jet Black Vault, which it is, that has been confirmed 100%, they should have themselves a pretty good direct drive smart trainer at that low to mid range. Availability is only US, UK and EU for now. With the technical specifications we've seen and that price point, this really does have the potential to shake the market up a little bit and bring those prices down for consumers. That's a good thing. Next up, do not adjust your television sets. This is now your normal programming. Zwift have changed the font in-game and on the web. The reception for this font has been, well, there's a few very interesting threads over on Reddit. Look, for me personally, I'm quite happy that my FTP is now 290 periscope. Next up, Saris announced the H4 trainer. Look, there's been no hands-on reviews for this, just press releases and on-paper technical specifications. A quick overview of what's been updated on the H4. Power accuracy is now down to plus or minus 1%. Max wattage is now 2300 watts. I won't be able to test that. That's a lot of power. Has auto calibration and 12-speed compatibility is a flagship feature of this new release. The press release here from Saris says that Saris is passionate about making cycling inclusive, which is why they were adamant that this trainer needed to fit 12-speed road bikes, a compatibility that has been lacking in the smart trainer market. No, it hasn't. I've got a lot of trainers here that I've been using 12-speed bikes on, both road and gravel, for quite some time. The compatibility was lacking on their trainer. There just wasn't enough room for the rear derailleur. It was smashing up against the casing. So whilst it's good to see they do support 12-speed, bullshitting people in the press release, not a good look. Now, from what I can tell from the photos we've seen of this unit, it still has the issue with through-axle adapters with levers on them too. Something that really needed to be addressed. So look, let's call a spade, or let's call a 2020 trainer a 2020 trainer. There's no wired connection, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no wiggle feet, there's no pivoting rear axle, there's no multi-Bluetooth connection. Look, the H4 is a very, very small incremental step forward. It's definitely not a leap forward. And there's definitely not 3 years of development in what we're seeing. With such a small update and the market leaders really going ahead with their offerings, Saris are at the risk of making mid-range trainers and not competing at that high end. Look, if you think I'm being harsh, stick around and very soon we'll see what a 2020 trainer really has when it comes to features. Flipping from indoors to outdoors now with the Apple announcement that the iPhone 14 will have satellite communication capability. Now, if you're wondering what's that got to do with cycling, well, with a lot of us now adventuring way off track and into areas where there's no cell reception, safety is an important function we need to think about. Personally, I'm riding some gravel tracks where there is no cell service, and if I get myself into trouble, I'm going to struggle to get a signal out. So my ears really pricked up at the announcement of Apple having satellite communication. However, digging a little deeper into this, not quite what it cracks up to be. So what we know so far, USA and Canada only, when released, I think it's sometime in November, only good for emergency situations. You can't text a friend, you can only call emergency services, and you'll need a clear view of the sky, and you'll need to sort of wander around until you get signal doing this. So from what I can tell at this point in time, the iPhone 14 satellite communication just won't compete with services provided by the Garmin inReach using the Iridium network or similar. They allow you to send messages to anyone, at a cost, obviously. But a lot of the time you don't want to call emergency services. You want to call your partner or your friend to come and pick you up because you've snapped a chain, not your neck. And speaking of GPS and satellite communications, Garmin and Hammerhead have both released big swags of updates in the last week or so. Garmin notably for the Edge 1040 device. I've done a video on that. There is a changelog that is the biggest I've ever seen. And over on the Hammerhead side of things, The two recent updates for that included profile-based sensors. So if you had multiple bikes, you could associate sensors just for those profiles, which is very, very handy for here in the Llama Lab where I have multiple power meters, multiple bikes, etc. And they're now showing chevrons on the map screens to know exactly which direction you're going. And now you've shown a chevron on screen, Llama, that direction for you is straight to the German courts. Again. And we'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching this one. As always, thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe to support what I'm up to here. And stay tuned. There's a few things you'll want to see coming up in the indoor space that I've been waiting for a very long time to arrive. It's finally here, and you'll know about it very soon.